So, Michael, you joined us in January this year, kicking off the year with Reach UK.
Indeed.
Tell us a bit about your role in the programme and a bit about your background. Where did you come from?
So I joined in January, program director for Reach UK. Um, my role. We have a small team here in the UK, brilliant team, small team. So we all dip into, all hands to deck every time something needs to be done. I guess my role largely revolves around onboarding startups, so identifying good startups in market, talking to them about the program, promoting Reach UK and what we do, onboarding them into the program. So going through the legals and
Yeah.
kicking off the program, and then
The
obviously
legals.
we have the fun.
Someone's got to do it,
Someone, yeah, someone has got to do it.
and it's you.
Yeah, it is me, yeah. But it's great, and it means you really get to know the startups. You get to know about their business, and then my role once program starts, like the rest of the team, is supporting those startups, preparing them for industry events, preparing them to talk to potential customers, understanding their business, right, and understanding what they wish to achieve. Every company has different ambitions over the course of the program. So it may be that they wish to scale the business and acquire customers. It may be that they wish to validate their product a little bit more. So it's really understanding what they need and then how the team can best support them. And obviously, once the program comes to an end, we continue to work with them. So
Yeah,
it's
doesn't
about
end.
that long term,
It
yeah,
really just doesn't end, does it?
ever. No, long term relationship, and being there to support them. Both the alumni and the existing cohort. The fact that they can contact us at any point and say to us, look, we need a little bit of support with this,
Yeah.
or what are your thoughts on this? Do you have any contact with this company? Would we
Yeah.
be a good fit? I think that's super valuable to them.
Literally at any point as well. We've got WhatsApp groups,
Yeah, all the
phones.
channels. Yeah, phones. I guess my background, like, as you say, I joined in January. Prior to that, I spent around 10 years in residential real estate with TDS Group, who I'll talk a little bit more about because they're obviously
Co-investor,
one of our fantastic co-investors. In my role there, I had a varied number of roles over the years, but really it was around product, innovation, partnerships. Looking at what opportunities there were in market, looking at some of the businesses coming through, identifying how we can work with some of them, and obviously that opened the door up to working with Reach from within TDS and now
yeah.
working within
Yeah,
Reach.
no, because we worked quite closely actually before you even joined Reach.
Yeah, for a
You're
number of
one of
months.
the kind of first people I've met when I joined Reach.
Yeah, I know.
You're always on our strategy calls as
Yeah,
well, which
yeah,
is actually really helpful for you, I guess, as well to see,
yeah.
how we work and stuff. So you had a bit of a head start,
I did
which is
indeed.
nice.
I did indeed.
So I guess, why would you say a startup would be interested in joining the UK program?
I think the UK. We have a number of programs around the world,
Yeah.
right? And all of them focus on helping early stage businesses to grow their business, to scale it. I think the real challenge in market is that we all know real estate sales cycles are quite long. It's about building up relationships. It's about understanding who you wish to target, how you get to them, what that integration or what that commercial deal might look like. And I think Reach, it has a really good mentor network. It has a really good sort of set of friends of Reach, right? So customers that operate in real estate in the UK. And being able to access that and tap into that is something that I think startups value. They see it as a way to join the team, talk about their product. They have our ears, right, for the entire program, and we can support them in growing. So it's about putting them in front of the customers,
The right people, yeah.
access to market, and helping them identify the right people. Right, sometimes it's, especially if you're a startup based around Europe,
Yeah.
to come into the UK market and say, who really should I be targeting here? Who's the decision makers? Who would use my product? Who may see value in it? Being able to help them with that and then put them in front of those people, that sort of access and knowledge, I think is invaluable to them. I
So,
think.
yeah.
Go on. I was going to touch on what you do, right? Events. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big one. The program is event
Huge.
heavy, and they really get the chance to
Yeah.
maximise that value. You choose the events. You choose the ones that are right for the sort of DNA of the cohort.
Yeah, and they
We put
change
them
every
there.
year. It's never the same. It's
No.
depending on what suits who we've got that year,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They can't be the same. It's not a cookie cutter approach. So I think for them, it's really good to have that expertise. Someone say these are the events this year that we think will benefit you the most. Here's how we're going to run them. Here's your talking opportunities at them. We'll put you on stage. We'll put you on a panel. Have a chat about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just builds up their presence, their profile. It gives them the opportunity to talk to customers.
Getting that opportunity they might not, have just going as a startup,
Yeah.
coming as part of the Reach cohort
Yeah.
to one of these events. You've got a bigger stage.
Yeah, you've got a bigger stage, and I think there's a lot to be said as well about the startups working with one another. It's not something we always focus on, but having 7 or 8 other founders that are in a similar position to you in terms of their business, focused, maybe not necessarily on the same customers, but in the same sector,
Yeah.
is huge for them, because you get to ideate together, you get to spend time together at events, you get to talk to other businesses and understand how they do things, the challenges they face, and I think it builds up. I mean, we see it, right? It builds up in our alumni group, like
Definitely.
a real
And it's so nice to see as well when
Yeah.
it's, that's the whole point of the ecosystem, is to, make use of those relationships you've got right at your fingertips.
yeah.
And I guess as well, what would you say the typical Reach participant looks like?
Yeah, I mean, SCV, obviously Second Century Ventures over in the US, it's a real estate focused fund, but we're super broad, right? So it's about technology solutions that drive value to a real estate practitioner, which means we can be quite broad, I guess, with what we look for. I think in terms of typical DNA, we tend to see startups that are early stage. They've got a product, so it's not MVP or pilot.
Yeah.
And that's purely because we're a scale-up program, so we want you ready to scale, right?
Yeah.
But product in market, maybe a little bit of traction. Maybe they've started to generate a little bit of revenue. They've proved that actually there is a problem in market they're fixing, and now for them it's about like, what's next? How do we access the market? How do we grow this business? Maybe how do we introduce new products and new sort of add-ons and features? And I think that's the perfect time for us to come in.
Yeah. What, in terms of like the 2024 class, for example, obviously we're just finishing up now.
Here we
and
are.
going into 2025. What's the kind of makeup of 2024? Take us through.
Yeah,
who was involved.
I mean, it's a great example because it is a great cohort.
Really good one, yeah.
We have, the majority are UK based, but we also have companies based out of around Europe. So we have one from Germany, we have one from Poland as well.
Yeah.
Those companies, are looking to come into the UK, really drill down into the UK market and find their first customers and scale from there. We've got a good blend of technology that is software focused, and we've got some good hardware ones as well. I mean, I could rattle through them, right? But Just Move In, a resi company focused on sort of the home moving process.
Yeah.
We've got Propult, who are supporting agents with identifying landlords and leads and accessing real market data. InfoSense are a hardware product actually, so it's about water safety, reducing the risk of Legionella. Zonifero are our Polish company, and they're focused on commercial buildings, access to buildings, making that operate in a building, living in a building easier for the company. We've got Built API. As I come towards the end, I'm going to start. So there's going to be one or two I need to. Built API.
It's hard to go
it's so
through the
hard,
list
isn't it?
because there's always one that you forget, and it's always a different one each time.
Yeah. Built API are a deep tech company. They're based out of Germany. They're really great with sort of APIs and integrations and supporting those commercial real estate operators. Building Passport, another sort of blend actually of sort of resi and commercial, because their product is around all the sort of documentation that you'd need for a property, floor plans, really putting it in a safe box really, so that anyone can access it and that it can be used for those as the building progresses. And we've got Hipla, another resi company, very much focused on that conveyancing process, automating it, saving people time, saving people money, getting them back into a position to speed up that home move process. Susie House, the first one on there.
Again,
Susie,
first one.
yeah. again, super interesting product focused on energy efficiency, focused on sort of ESG, home retrofitting, which is such a challenge, right? And then,
Yeah.
you know, one for our co-investors as well in the resi market, a real challenge for landlords, and their solution is, you know, so that it's so rich in data, allowing people to
Yeah.
basically jump in, understand their property, analyse their property, what they can do to it to improve. So
Yeah. They're so ahead of time as well, and
yeah,
yeah.
I mean they really are. So I mean we've got some fantastic solutions. The cohort, there's a good blend as well of like how they can work together. You know, opportunities there. So yeah, a really exciting year.
Yeah, and we've got, obviously we touched on, you're holding one of our
I do.
little
Our Reach
magazines, we
booklet
like to call them,
that rattles through them all. Yeah,
2024 class.
and our alumni.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of nice stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, I guess you've been here for a short while, but you've been working with us for longer than
I have.
you've actually been with us.
Yeah.
What would you say has been your highlight of the 2024 class? Or key moment, or highlight moment that you really enjoyed?
I mean, I think obviously I touched on it, but my background within TDS, you know, that was such a big opportunity, I think, for the market, property market, and TDS to come together and say, actually, we wish to invest into technology startups as well. We wish to see the market progress and innovate and grow. And so I think, you know, launching that partnership, you know, which was fantastic for Reach, it was fantastic for them, seeing that go
Huge
live
news as well.
yeah, and the reaction in market to people saying, "Oh my god, that's super interesting. That's so cool." I think it was sort of PropTech Connect as well. You obviously went crazy big on it as
Oh God, it
sponsors,
was huge.
and we had a stand there when I was within TDS, but working with Reach, working
Yeah.
with the class, and sort of everyone coming through and talking to us about, you know, what was in it,
Why you're
why the
here.
deal, how it worked.
Why are you on the Reach stand?
Yeah, that was a really proud moment. I
Yeah.
think that was a really
No,
interesting
that was
one.
good. It was a
Yeah.
good time to kick that off as well with PropTech Connect. It was,
Yeah, a massive event.
fun.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's been amazing. Thank you so much, Michael,
not at all.
for chatting to us. It's been lovely.